Well, hello everybody. My name is Lina Minghui. For today's video, what I want to be talking about is about financial forecasting and its importance in daily life. So this is the video for the daily edition 2 that we're having for this week. And I decided to come up with the topic of financial forecast because I think it is a really crucial topic that everybody should know. So first, let's look at what is financial forecast. Financial forecast, as just as its name, is about predicting and estimating the different market trends or how finance goes up and down in the future days and or even months or years. So financial forecast is something really important. And what and how do we predict these? Is first through historical data, where we look at data in the past and come up with estimations for the future. We also have current trends, which are like really necessary so that we could predict if like what would the trend change and how like the trends moves ups and down. And also we also need to look at really a lot of other aspects so that we could come up with perfect estimations of finance, especially in the future. So there are mainly two types of financial forecasting that we could see really commonly. First is qualitative and next is quantitative. So just as this name, qualitative forecast is about focusing on the accuracy and also we so on this type is like a little bit harder because you need to look really accurate at like all of the data. You must make sure that all of them are correct and that all of them provide a great view for the topic. Also, quantitative is about forecasting data, forecasting these final states for like a really high future time. So this is really important because quantitative could be used in like a lot of times where like we're coming with statistic for the year or etc. is actually pretty important. So why should we look at financial forecasting? First, it's really helpful for planning and budgeting. So probably everybody would, let's say as an example, everybody would do have needs and wants, and how do they do it is by budgeting the amount of money that they want to save in different aspects, such as like on their savings or on their needs, etc. So how do we actually come up with a financial forecast for these and how does it even help? So imagine if like you're planning to live in like a standard living of like let's say pretty well living people, a pretty well living family, then probably you have to forecast if things will go up, things will go down in the future, so that you could have a lot with your savings and with your budgetings. So it will also help you plan a lot. Let's say maybe you have like a plan for traveling to, let's say, traveling and visiting your grandparents next summer holiday, and so you want to plan, but like you need to look at these financial forecasts and see how will the tickets cost and how will other things also cost in that time. So it's really important. Also there could be risk management and decision making because when this is usually for big companies and also big stores too. So if they could have a forecast of their financial situations, they could manage the risk and analyze the risk onto whether or not should they invest a lot in this, should they like come up with a lot of stocks of that product or those products. And also it helps a lot with decision making because it ensures that you could understand the future situations that could happen. So it's really important. And also how do we come up with these financial forecasts? Well, there are two really common ways. There's also a lot of others more, but I'm just going to focus on these two, which are first time series analysis, where we analyze those data through a time series list. And so we collect data from different sources from different times so that we could analyze them. Also, we will also have regression analysis. Also, one other type of analysis that's pretty common is scenario analysis, where you look at the situation currently, what will happen, etc., to forecast the financial situation. And so, lastly, what we want to be looking about is the challenges that you could face with the situations when you're coming up with financial forecasts. So first, data quality. It is like a really a pretty dangerous way to predict data when you don't ensure that the data quality is 100% correct and is 100% uh, all briefly about the data. So what do you need to do is that you need to make sure that the data quality is good. It is correct. It is actually an up-to-date data. It is not changed or not being faked, anything at all. So what do you need here is data quality. It always comes first when you're looking at it. And so imagine in a situation when you want to forecast the finance, but then suddenly you notice that the data is all wrong. It will affect deeply into the results and it will change a lot of your solutions. So it will really does not have a big effect. Market volatility is basically about situations where things could change. Like you are wanting to predict them, but like let's say you predict them through time series approach. At first, in the historical data, they've said that it could change just a little bit like that. But imagine in market volatility, things could change a lot because like you can't 100% accurately predict the future, and also things could change, like the market trends could change, cash could change, etc. Everything could change. So you don't know it, and it's going to be pretty challenging sometimes. Lastly, one thing that I want to discuss about is bias. So bias is basically about if the data is being biased or anything. So basically the word bias is understood as if somebody is liking one thing over one another, and like they prefers one over the other. So things will change. Like let's say we have an example of bias. Um, let's say I am a fan of a singer named ABC, but then on the analysis of the people who have like the best rankings, actually CDE is the one which has the higher ranking than my favorite idol, which is ABC. So if I want to tell to my friends, I for sure want to make my friends feel like I'm really proud of my like idol. So I'll need to like being a bias, and I'll need to say ABC has a higher ranking than CDE, and then CDE is nothing compared to ABC. So basically that is about biasing. It is when you like one thing over another. And so resources, sometimes they could come with these two. And they could even fake data or like come up with frauds. So you really need to be careful when collecting these. And it will affect deeply when you have those challenges in front of you to the financial forecasting steps. So that is all for today's video about financial forecasting. Thank you so much for listening to my video. Goodbye and see you next time.